And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another broadcast here on the CranKy Ducklings. I'm of course VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these two amazing players. Because welcome everyone to the Jumy Showmatches number 2. Bienvenidos, papi. Bienvenidos. This is a show match series here between these two players that have been beefing. No, not at all. There. These two amazing players on the new patch and on the new maps. We are here to feature some new patches, some new maps, some new StarCraft, papi. Let's go, let's go. This is going to be a best of 7, by the way. Best of 7 PvZ, and diving right on into it. Because spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Dynasty, we do have our green Protoss player representing Freiburg Esports. It is for Jumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Swedish Zerg player living in the land of Canada, the red Zerg representing Sandstorm Gaming. It is Namshar. And one moment, as I do need to increase the music, increase the volume. There we go. So for those that are curious, again, this is going to be played on the PTR, or not on the PTR, but on the new patch, balance notes as well, on the current patch. On what is currently dictated to be the new patch on the horizon here. So we have some changes that are implemented. Likewise, also on the new map pool as well. There are some old maps and some new maps. Bear that in mind. We're going to be featuring maps like old ones, Alkyone, Golden Aura, Oceanborn, Side Delta, but also some new ones in Crimson Court, Dynasty, Ghost River, and Post Youth as well. Oh boy. So I'm ready to bear witness. Hatchgas pool opener, standard opener here at a Nameshar. For Jumy, going for a gate expand into his Cybercore. Oh, I remember this map. We casted this map on Miyamika versus Estrella, and this map is a bit of a meme here. Think Redshift, as we have a pocket goal base. Yep. We have a pocket goal base available here on Dynasty with their animals, whoever made this map. So we can take this quite quickly. We have a regular gas here to be taken. We have a rich vesting gas geyser on the other side, which I can't imagine being taken unless we go for a proxy or something like that. So Namshar is going for a standard natural base. Meanwhile, for Jumy, rushing into the gold. Now, rushing into a gold as a Protoss player is very interesting because I feel like gold minerals don't give you as much benefits as it would to a Terran or a Zerg player unless we did opt to go into charge lots. So I'm curious what the opener of choice is going to be. I'm curious if we do go for a Stargate or a Twilight Council. So I'm really curious to see what the brain of 4Jumy has thought up, as he is going for the Stargate. Okay, it's going to be a Stargate opener out of 4Jumy. Now, the added bonus here of taking this gold base is that early on, Zerg players can't really punish this, as Lings can't really get here. You know, we need range units to punish this base. That's the downside of a Zerg player rushing into it, is that an Adept can get here very quickly. Like, the first couple of Adepts could just go straight to that gold mineral line and punish your drones, punish that mineral line quite indefinitely, at least until link speed kicks in. So that's the downside here. So I'm not opposed to Namshar taking this as his third instead of his natural. Again, just waiting for link speed to kick in as the Adept has arrived. We do threaten the natural base, but we shouldn't quite commit. We shouldn't overextend. So we are settling on in. Again, Adept is going to be forced back. Additional Adepts are on the way. Again, our wall is getting up and running. And for Jumy, he could just rush into another base, by the way. He could rush into quite a fast third. I'm getting Radisson Station vibes. I mean, at least Radisson Station is no longer a thing, right? It's gonna no longer be in this map pool. We're getting rid of it. It's getting out of here. Ooh, as Namshar does flinch, he is forced to overreact for a moment there. Link speed has kicked in. We can now keep up and shut down those Adepts. And now we're zooming out across the map. We're zooming across the map. Queen? Wait, what? We have a random Queen. Okay, so the Queen is going to be applying a bit of pressure here. Who wins down here between a Queen and an Oracle? Yeah, the Queen is going to be focused down. I don't think this is quite worth it, as we do get 3 probe kills for the Queen. I'm not too fond of that. I'll be I mean, that's a way to punish the base, I guess. But yeah, the Queen does fall there to the Oracle quite handedly, and yeah, with that, Namshar is going to be down a Queen. Does confirm the saturation of the gold at least, and yeah, it does have his Lings pinned, parked outside our natural, or outside our third. Actually, you know, I'll call this the natural. I'll call this the pocket base. I think that makes the most sense. I don't know. I don't know anymore. As behind this, we're going for the Twilight Council. There is no Forge, by the way, so this could be Charge or Glaives. I would be all on board with Charge, by the way, based on how many minerals we have and how insane our income is. Charge would make a lot of sense, but there it is. A Forge is on the way for +1. We'll see which direction for Jumy does go in. Oh, as I should update. There we go. As I should update that title. Oracle's rotating around, looking for another way in. Again, Amshar taking his 4th base, saturating his gold as we speak. Oracles, they do head towards that main base, though. And we do manage to get 1 drone so far, just a single worker. At the same time at FCA, they do threaten that mineral line, deny any kind of mining. This is the problem here with taking this base. The problem that I had thought of. But we do have Lings coming in. We do paid out the stasis. And Lings, they have arrived. They will corner these adepts. They will shut them down. But here come the Oracles. Yeah, the Oracles, they force back those Lings. The adepts, they're kept safe and sound, which means we still cannot quite fully mine. Queens have arrived. Meanwhile, it's going to be Blink, not Charge. So +1 and Blink are on the way. Ooh, one Oracle does get targeted. Very nice target firing there out of Namshar. Does force the adepts back. Oh, and they are going to get surrounded as well. Nice catch here out of Namshar. Not too bad. Does get on top of the adepts. Will clean them up. Ooh, as one of them will escape. Just barely. Not a bad cleanup here from Namshar. You know, behind this, working on the next step, working on a massive gateway explosion, a 4th base as well, so very quickly here for Jumy. 4th base as Namshar just getting his own 4th base saturated. Namshar joining up to 63. Getting up to 3 base saturation. And we do have our take of choice here. Namshar is going to be going into Roaches. Is going for +1 range as well, so very light on Lings. Mainly Roaches, and this should be leading into Hydras alongside them. Or into a Roach-based all-in. Curious to see which. I'm going to be curious. As for Jumy, he is going to be sharking around. Does get on top of the Queen. Oh, does go for the dive. So far, we do have energy. We do have Transfuse. We do keep the Queen alive. Reinforcements do rotate around. Yeah, we take down the Overlord. We go for the Queen. Things are trying to trickle on in, but we don't have enough roaches. Don't have enough army. Namshar caught with his pants down a little bit here. Queen does fall. Yeah, we have to evacuate. Namshar knows he cannot hold on to this base. It's not going to happen. Cannot hold. Oh. We don't quite get the Queen. Oh my god. Almost snipe one. Almost. The Queens are barely holding on. Roaches are amassing. We are building up an army. Namshar, he can't hold. Yeah, it looks like he was a little bit premature when it came to pulling back, but big stasis here on the army. Oh my god. Massive stasis here on the Roaches, and can we bait it in? We cannot. Oh, we can. Never mind. The stasis traps, they're insane. Almost the entire army gets caught out, and that means that for Jumy, he can have his way with this army. He can have his way with this base. Roaches are going down. For Jumy, looks like he wants some more secure damage as he dives into the natural. Gets a Queen, gets the 2nd Queen as well. Yeah, Oracles are going ham. On those Roaches for Jumy, maybe overextending though, bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Yeah, a lot of Stalkers do get down. Force recall, but every single Stalker will fall. I feel like we did fumble the ball a little bit here. Those are some big stasis traps, but we weren't able to fully make use of them. And now Namshar, he's on 70 workers. He's massing a Roach army. He's going for a big counterattack. +1 range is done. +2 range just now starting up. There's that Hydra that we spoke about. The Hydras are on the horizon. But for now, the mass Roach may be too much for Jumy. Again, expensive losses here for our Protoss player. Stalkers are going down. We do warp in a handful of Zealots. For Jumy is on 83 probes. Like, he has a good economy, he has a good base count, but he needs time. He needs time to warp in. How many gates are we on? 9 gates. We on Namshar. Can he break through? That's another stasis. Oh no! Ooh, massive stasis once again. Taking out the majority of the army. And now is the time that we gotta go. For Jumy though. Just trying to catch out this stasis army. Going for bigger warp-ins. Storm has started +2. Does kick in. We are going for a Zealot counterattack. Riches, they do break free from the stasis. Do break free. Immortal does join the fray. Oh, these are going to be expensive losses here for Namshar. And we're chasing him down. Roaches are falling. Nice force field as well from Jumy. And with that, we're going to be able to shave off a couple more of those roaches. Meanwhile, behind this, +1 air attack is on the way. Fleet beacon for Skydust. Oh, let's go. Oh, boy. As for Jumy is going to be thinking about that Skytoss. He's working towards it. Other features of this map is, of course, the narrow choke point here in the center. The rocks have not been knocked down. But once again, we are going to be denying mining here at the gold. We can. Instead, we catch some of the Hydras. Pick off a Hydra. Not a bad pick off. The Immortal is a bit exposed. Gonna have to pull back. Ooh, the Immortal does get targeted. As they'll say, coming from behind, another big stasis trap. The stasis traps here from Jumy have been insane. They've been very impressive. Big Zealot warp into the main base, keeping the reinforcements busy. The boys are being pulled, and this center base is finally being broken. Is finally going down. Yeah, we target down the Hydras. Expensive losses here for Namshar. And he bleeds out 16 drones. Oh, an insane amount of damage. I'm loving the burrow on the Hydras. I'm loving the burrow here. And it looks like with that, Namshar is going to be able to barely hold on, but he lost 16 workers. There's still the Prism into the main base, which is finally going to be going down. The Prism does fall. But Namshar is stuck on 64 workers. Again, barely saturation. He's mining out of the gold base. We have half a base here at the natural. The 4th and the 5th, barely mining. And here comes the mothership. Here comes a +1 air attack. And for Jumy continuing to expand. Just does not stop. Namshar having a hard time keeping up. The run might continue. They won't be able to get too much done. I'm loving the whole position micro here around the spike caller. We will hold. We will clean this up. But the main army is what's terrifying. We have Archons, Storm, plenty of High Templars, Stalkers. The mothership is on the way. No carriers yet. But we do have plenty of Storms. Another stasis trap goes. Oh my god. Jumy with the stasis. Non-stop here throughout the game. And Namshar just cannot keep up with it. So we throw down that force field. Force field storm even. We do blanket the army. Namshar being forced back. Has maxed out. Likewise, so is for Jumy. And for Jumy does have the much more threatening army here. Gonna be able to dive on this. We blink on forward, we dive on top of the Hydras. Not the best move, but yeah, we got the Storms as well. It's all good. We can afford to take an inefficient fight, as we're just blowing our way through anyway. Can we catch up some of those units? We soon have 2 more Storms available. We don't have them yet, but they're on the way. And Namshar just can't keep up. Something I just realized as well, like halfway through this game, is that I know that we're playing on the new patch, but the new patch doesn't really impact this matchup. I'll be honest. The new patch doesn't really change much between this dynamic, so we shouldn't really see too many changes. The maps are more interesting here between our players. As Storm does graze the Hydras. Behind this is going to be recalling across the map towards the mothership. And we're busting into that pocket base. The minerals are mining us, and that does give us access. Does give us a way in. And honestly, I don't even think we needed to recall. I'll be honest. We could have just kept pushing. Yeah, we deny mining at the gold. Slow zone has been thrown down. We cannot engage. Another big storm here on the army. So we do see Namshar trying to collapse on this. 13 drones go down. GG gets called as, again, the writing was on the wall. And for Jumy, takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played for Jumy. Does take a lead in the series, but as a reminder, it is a best of 7 show match here, so plenty more games are ahead of us. And again, I'm most interested in going through at least the new maps, going through those new maps. But yeah, the problem here with the fact that we are playing on the new patch, which is cool, but the reality is that a lot of changes were made mainly to some other matchups and other dynamics, mainly to Terran, to the Widowmine, to the Cyclone, for example, to the way the Terran upgrades work. Like, a lot of changes were made to the Terran race. When it comes to Protoss, a little bit less so. Like, the changes that come to mind are like the Sentry changes, for example, which is purely PvP. Sure, there were a couple of quality of life changes as well, but nothing too major. So, yeah, with that, we're getting into game 2. I'm just quickly going over it, just in case I missed something. Obviously, when it comes to Zerg, the Infestor was adjusted, but that's mainly applicable to ZVT. So I should emphasize there were changes made to Zerg and Protoss, but that didn't really apply too much to this matchup. So the Infestor change, of course, mainly affects ZVT in towards the mid to late game. The Protoss changes were vision based, and of course the Sentry. So the Observer was buffed in a way. The Pylon sight range was buffed, but yeah, that's not. That's for other purposes that we did go over when we reviewed the patch. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court of Papi, we have the German Protoss player leading the series 1-0, representing Freiburg Esports. It is for Jumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Swedish Zerg player going for a 12 pool, by the way. Okay, we have the red Zerg representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is Namshar. We're pulling the boys as well. Pro Scout comes in. We do get eyes on the workers, by the way. The GLHFs are thrown down at Namshar. He's sending it across the map. Again, I believe he does. Oh, I mean, he's going to be going over here just to disrupt the wall, just to make sure the Lings are actually able to gain access to the base 04 Jumy. Again, we're loading into Crimson Court. Are these rocks? Mineral. Oh, they're minerals. My apologies. Okay, so we do have minerals that can be mined through to gain access to another area of the map. Speaking of, that's where we're going. Namshar mining through the gold mineral patches, and we will create an opening. So even if we wall off here, it doesn't even matter. 3 drones purely to mine through these mineral patches. Oh my god. And with that, there's a massive gaping wall here that Namshar can take advantage of. He doesn't have to go through here on the right hand side. For Jumy, can he wall off? He's mining himself. Can he wall off? Oh, as the boys are going to be fighting each other, trading a drone for a probe, keeping them busy. Lings, they are going to be on the way. As we're even mining through these. Wait, what? Oh, right, we have to gain access. Oh, of course. My apologies. So this is similar to, as we're going for the proxy hatch. Let's go. This is similar to Alcyone, or Golden Wall is maybe a better example, where you have to mine through both sides of the map to actually make go through these areas. But the Lings, they're on the wrong side here. We do force a cancel, and the Lings have arrived, but we have a full wall anyway. And oh yeah, Namshar, nowhere he needs to be, but he does get some good surface area here on the gateways. We're going for the gateways instead. Oh, we're busting in! The Zealots! The Zealot is going to be cornered. It's going to be focused down, but the Adepts, they are coming out just in time. We have 2 Adepts. And these Lings, they cannot touch this wall. There's no dealing with this. Namshar, he's expanding, and he's droning. Oh, but he's down to 13 drones. Again, a very low worker count here for Namshar. The problem with this is that Namshar was giga all in. Like, it wasn't just a 12 pool, it was a 12 pool drone pool. He had 3 drones that were fighting out on the map, and then he pulled another 3 drones to mine through these middle patches here. Like, this is like the most inefficient build I've ever seen. Well, I say most inefficient, most all in build I've ever seen, and transitioning out of this is going to be nigh impossible, I would imagine. Like, we already lost the 3 drones. Again, we had to long distance mine here as well, as we're still long distance mining, by the way. Ay, ay, ay. For Jumy getting across the map. And yeah, we're just in a really weird game state. The main base was also quite large. There's quite a lot of room actually to work with in the main. You can use that to maybe even hide a proxy as well, now that I think about it. LFs get across the map. Ling speed is nowhere near finishing, as we're only just now getting enough gas for Ling speed. We're only now getting 100. The Queen goes down. Ooh, and Namshar, again, he's in quite a bit of trouble here. We got a bunch of Lings, but again, they are slow. And what can we do? Ling speed is on the way. We're applying pressure hits to the natural. We're going for the Queen. We have to engage. We have to fight. Ay, ay, ay. So we actually get another one of the larva. Queen doing what it can. Queen doing what it can, as we are going to be able to catch another Queen at the natural. No! The Queen, it's going to fall. As it's a couple of hits away from going down, and yeah, we do get it. Queen does 4 depths. They do get surrounded. We shade into the main base. We focus down as many drones as we can. We get 2 more workers. And we are finally cleaned up. But again, Namshar, he has 13 drones. Oh, boy. Again, we spoke about it, how the builds from Namshar, I mean, I appreciate it, but I feel like the execution was lacking. The execution was lacking here with his all-in. The fact that the Lings even came from the right-hand side instead of the left. You can see for Jumy just walling up in a very awkward fashion. But I like this does give us some potential here. Like the fact that we could potentially mine through those patches and go for an all-in. As we saw, though, it's very committed because it's 3 layers of minerals. So you need 3 drones at least. 3 workers on both ends. Like that's 6 drones. Like that's crazy. Like that's... Ay, ay, ay. I don't think it's viable, but the wall's not a wall. The wall is not a wall. Lings, they do flood in. No shield battery, by the way. We get the Stalker, we get the Adept. As for Jumy expanding over here on the left-hand side of the map. Also, there's the same here where we can also mine through these minerals on the right-hand side. A very intriguing map. There are rocks here through the center as well, though it can be knocked down. Base is in the main attack path. This is wild. This is actually a crazy map. This is oh my god. Jesus. I'm looking forward to casting on this map. I'm not looking forward to playing. Not gonna lie. Crimson Court is it's for animals, Bob. It's for animals. Ay ay ay. As we are gonna be taking our triangular third. Or trying to at least. It's so far away. It's very, very out of the open here. Quite exposed. Adepts are going to be forced to recall for Jumy overextending. Behind this, it was a Stargate opener into Oracle. How many Oracles did we get into? 3. Triple Oracle from Jumy. Now going to be moving out. Behind this, getting into a Forge, +1. Getting into our standard follow-up. We just got here in a really weird way. Like, I'm still processing what the hell's been going on. I'm still processing. As Lings, they do slip into the main. Oh, get a couple of probes. Managed to get a couple of probes here, but it looks like we should get cleaned up. We get a full scouts, we get eyes on the Forge and the Twilight Council. Namshar fully aware of what's going on. He is aware, but does it matter? As we are cleaning up those Lings. Meanwhile, Lings, they just keep flooding in. It's The wall is just never a wall. As lanes, they just slip on in. Again, this wall is clearly very awkward to actually wall off. More lanes just running in because they can. But in all honesty, once we figure out how these walls work and a more efficient way to actually throw down those gateways, yeah, GG gets called. We lose far too much across the map anyway, and poor Jumy is going to take it. But it does look like a really defensive expansion pattern, actually. There on the left-hand side, GG for Jumy does take a 2-0 lead across the map. Adepts that were just wreaking havoc, and again, Namesha was already in a really brutal position. Like, again, this, I feel like this tells a story. I'm looking at the graph right now. This is the drone graph, by the way, the worker graph, and it took such a long time here to even exceed 20 workers for Namshar. He was pretty all in, and things were looking pretty dire there for him. But regardless, GG, well played. And for Jumy, takes a 2-0 lead. Does take a 2-0 lead here. Oh. And with that, as a reminder, it is a best of 7, and we have our next map is going to be Amphion LC. Oh boy, I haven't delved too much into a lot of these maps. I've only seen what I've casted, and we casted Miyamika versus Estrella on, not on Crimson Court, but we casted them on Dynasty. Looking at Amphion here, I believe we also casted on, yeah, we also casted on Amphion as well. A very interesting map. We can get into this. Once again, mineral walls. Interesting base layouts. We have hybrid bases as well. We'll get there. We'll get there. Amphion is one to keep an eye out for. Dude, this map is for Architect Protoss players. How on earth do you wall and where? True, true. And that's what I mean. Like, I do feel like once walling gets figured out, on Crimson Court, I do actually really like expanding. I do think it's really safe to expand in a linear fashion, the way that Fort Jumy was, just because there's no counterattack potential. Like, there's no way to like flank and come in from another angle when it comes to the third. Like, the third, there's one attack path, which is something you don't see very often. Usually the third has 2, maybe even 3 attack paths, and it's a little more wide open. Same with the fourth base, but yeah, like, Crimson Court is fascinating and terrifying as well. When it comes to both Protoss and Terran players against Zerg, like, it does feel like it can be a much more secure way to expand and protect your bases against run-bys. Interesting. It is an interesting map. But now we're getting into game number 3, and I'm hoping we get a back and forth. I'm hoping we can have a more competitive series here, but it's not on me, as here we go. We're loading into Amphion, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have our German Protoss player leading the series 2-0. Will he continue his reign of dominance here? Representing Fiberg Esports, it is for Jumy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as a opponent, we have this Swedish Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Sidestorm Gaming. Yes, can we fight back? Can we put a point on the board? It is Namshar. So, we're loading into Amphion, and the natural base is pretty open. I mean, there's a ramp here on the right-hand side to actually get into it, but here towards the left-hand side, there is a mineral wall. Is a much thinner mineral wall here, 2 minerals wide, actually 2 mineral patches wide towards the left hand side, where we can gain access to this area of the map. We have rocks that can be knocked down, we have a hybrid base here, and we do have, of course, your opponent's side of the map. So if we did want to try to pull off that all-in that Namshar tried in the last game on Crimson Court, it'd be easier here because there are only 2 layers as opposed to 3 layers that were on Crimson Court. So you only need 4 drones instead of 6. 2 drones here and then 2 drones here. But again, bringing that many boys, that many workers to mine through these middle patches to go for it all in still feels really inefficient and just a little bit too difficult to pull off. I would not be surprised if we see it at pro play at one point or another, but in general, using this to like mine through and go for an all in feels unviable. It doesn't feel viable. But to like expand here as a third base, sure, we can see that. Could definitely see that. Meanwhile, over on the right-hand side here, if we expand in a much more standard linear fashion, it's interesting, there is kind of an area back here where you can actually get closer towards dealing with Liberators, for example, so there's less dead space for Liberators to work with here, as there's more area that a ground unit can use to traverse, which is interesting. It looks really weird, like visually, to have like this area behind your gases, but basically this is just so that, again, like a Stalker or a Queen or something can head in this area just so we can defend our mineral line and defend our bases. So, again, aesthetically, it looks kind of weird, but I'm pretty sure that's the purpose of it. As we're getting into our expansions, ooh, Namshar is going to be mining through these patches. Yeah, they are only 5 mineral patches deep. So, oh, actually, we have to mine through 3. Oh, okay. We have to mine through 3 patches to get through. Never mind what I said before. I thought it was just 2 layers, but because of how they're placed, you actually need to mine through additional layers instead. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think we can actually squeeze through that. He's trying. He can't do it. Squeeze through. Suck it in. Yeah, he has to. Okay, so you have to mine through 4 patches. 4 patches to get through. There we go. The drone has been unlocked, so yeah, you have to mine through 4 patches, not 2. Interesting. Okay, well now we know. So that means you need 8 workers to actually pull off an all-in. Like that's not gonna that's not gonna happen. Okay, there you go. So yeah, that's quite a lot of layers of protection as the Namshar is taking his expansion. Likewise, back at home, it is gonna be a fast. Oh my god, we're going for a Stargate into a Fleet Beacon. He's crazy. There's no Oracle, no Void Ray, just a straight up Fleet Beacon first here out of Fort Jumy. Very greedy, by the way. This is illegal. This should not be possible, but Namshar, he's happily droning. You know, he's taking his 3rd base towards his opponent, and he has no idea what's going on. Namshar, he has not gone for the scout. He needs to, but the Overlord was denied. The Overlord is pinned here on the pillar, which means we do not see what's going on. That's a 2nd Stargate. This is a little bit old school. I haven't seen this in quite some time, but just a straight up double Stargate carrier rush. Or we could even go Tempest. We could even go Tempest. And because of the base locations, short rush distance by air. Yep, Tempest rush. Very short rush distance by air. And because we've expanded towards our opponent, that means it's going to be even faster to get the Tempest across the map to lay siege upon the 3rd and then the main base thereafter. This is dangerous. On top of that, the distance between the natural and the 3rd is quite long, so we need to spread this creep as soon as possible to actually defend our bases and rotate our queens around. This is wild. And we've only just been focusing on the left-hand side. Here on the right-hand side, we have rocks as well that can be knocked down towards the center. We have more mineral patches that can be mined through to gain access towards the right-hand side of the map, or to reduce the rush distance it takes as well. Very interesting. But really, the reality is that it's a short rush distance by air, and even by ground as well, it does feel quite short, and that's what we're focusing on here with the fast Tempest. Meanwhile, looking at the vision of Namshar, he still has the lair on the way. He doesn't know. Doesn't see, doesn't know what's going on. He is in the dark. Oh boy. And best of luck to Namshar as he moves out with his lings. We have a shield battery, we have a full wall off. Again, something that is more of a feature now that didn't used to be, that used to be standard, ramp. There's a ramp leading into the natural, so this natural base is actually pretty heavily fortified. Pretty heavily fortified natural. There's even a ramp coming into this 3rd location as well, so interesting. These ramps do allow these bases to be a little bit more secure, especially the natural. Not this 3rd though. The linear 3rd is actually quite open. There's no ramp whatsoever, there's no high ground, so yeah, this 3rd base, we're not going to be able to get it up. It is going to be denied. And here come the Tempest. Overlord did scout, by the way. Now we know what's going on, but is it too little too late? The Tempest, they're on the way, and we have nothing. How many queens? 8. We have 8 queens to defend, but Tempest, they can just kite those queens to death, and there's still no tech. There's no hive, sorry, there's no hydrogen, there's no spire. Now we start the spire, but the army's here. The Tempest have arrived. They supply block Namshar. The supply block is real. And we're pushing on forward. Yeah, this base, there's no creep connecting the bases, by the way, so there's no defending the 3rd. We don't care about the 3rd. We're going for the kill. We're going straight for the main. I do like this choice here by Fort Jumy. Goes to the main base. How well can we kite? So far, that's a lot of queens we can transfuse. So far, transfuse is good, and the queens, they can maintain themselves. We do have plenty of transfuse energy we can maintain ourselves, but we're not saving this base. Oh, the overlords, oh, they get hunted down. More overlords going to be falling. And this base is going to be forfeit. Namshar, he knows that he's going to be expanding towards the right-hand side. He's double expanding even. Oh, we get a queen. Oh, wait with it. We can one-shot. We can one-shot, Papi. Come together. Yeah, he knows. Now he knows he can one-shot queens, which means it doesn't even matter. The Spire isn't done. Transfuse doesn't matter, not anymore. As queens are being one-shots. How many Tempests do we have? 6. We have to bring our shots together. There we go. We do have to bring them together. I do think that Jumy could have been a little bit more assertive with this. Yeah, 6 Tempests is that sweet spot. Yeah, we're just camping the main base. 7 Corruptors are on the way. So we do have to be careful. Again, you can see Jumy being very careful with his overall control here. Void Rays are amassing back at home. Yeah, we came to the production. We do snipe some of these Corruptors. Trying to kite back. We force the recall, and 1 Tempest goes down. Now, what I will say is that I do think that these Tempests were a bit of a missed opportunity. We saw that Jumy was very tentative. He was very tentative with his control. He could have been a little bit more assertive. We could have dealt more damage. Namshar didn't really lose drones. Because the queens survived as long as they did, we only lost 2 drones in the main base. So Namshar, he minimized his losses quite well. You can see here we barely lost any workers, any economy. Namshar double expanded, and he still has that 3rd base, by the way. So Namshar, he's trying to hold his own. He is massing Corruptors, but what's scary is that the Tempest live. Yeah, the Tempest, they did live. And we cannot focus them down. Void Rays have arrived. Corruptors are falling. Big Link counterattack, though. It is going to force Jumy back home. Jumy, he is forced to turn back around. And this is buying a lot of time for Namshar to build up his Corruptors. And he needs to. How many Corruptors do we have? We have 4. That is nowhere near enough. Only 4 Corruptors. Namshar mainlining over towards the left-hand base. Interesting. I think this was a bit of a misclick. Like, the drones, they were good where they were. Where are we going? Where are we? Oh, they're with the queens. Uh-oh. It looks like the drones are in the same control group as the queens, and they're all coming together here. We are going to be saturating this base, but I feel like they were fine where they were. Okay, we are going to be saturating this triangular third instead. I mean, I guess it is a more exposed base, and there's a higher chance that this base dies, so maybe that's what we wanted. To mine this base as quickly as possible. True, I guess. I'm curious. That's from here. We're just gonna be now it's saturating this base. I think we're just trying to make the best out of a bad situation. Now we're gonna be saturating the base on the right hand side, drawing it up. That was a lot of lost mining time, which is concerning. Lots of lost mining time there. And Void Rays are moving out. We have 6 Void Rays against 15 Corruptors. Ooh, do we have a recall? Stalkers pushing towards the left. Void Rays, they do focus on that base. 33 drones here, by the way. Oh my god. As we transfer it over. We're transferring over to a base that does not exist. Corruptors, they're going to be chasing down these Void Rays. A lot of them, or some of them may fall. We're getting one. We do manage to get 1 Void Ray. Meanwhile, towards the left-hand side, again, we're transitioning into a Grand Army. We don't care about the air. Not anymore. It's all about the Grand Army. As the Corruptors are diving in. Ooh, no overcharge. And these Corruptors are going to do well for themselves. But here come the Stalkers. Stalkers, they come into support. The Tempest, they stand strong. And for Jumy, he has his 3rd up and running. Now he's taking his 4th. Is getting operational. Namshar, he has drawn up to 93. But again, limited mining. So much long distance mining going on here. Oh my god. Lings, they do catch the Stalkers. Not bad. Stalkers are caught out, and we're going to be able to pick a couple of them off. Back here by Namshar. Okay, he still has a solid Corruptor army. Meanwhile, we're getting into Immortal, into Archon. But Jumy does have to be wary. There we go. The base is now up. Again, still heavily oversaturated, but, we're getting these bases back up and running. We're getting there. Again, that's why even though Namshar has 90 workers, like his economy is still subpar, it's still struggling. Celeron comes in, distracts the Lings. And here come the Stalkers. And we can recall. Picking up whatever we can, we got 6 workers. Once the Lings arrive, we should just situate ourselves behind the mineral line and recall back. Oh, actually, we can blink to the low ground. Okay. Blink to the low ground, deny another base. Don't even need to spend the recall. Ooh, as that is going to be a cancel. And now there is no way out. And very efficient trades there from Jumy. Did lose a couple of workers across the map, but for the most part, we are still standing strong. With Jumy on 67 workers. Mothership is on the way. Do we have Storm? We do. We have Storm. We have Immortals, Archons. For Jumy, he's building up a death ball of an army. And yes, for Jumy, his worker count may be a little bit lower than that of Namshar's, but it's not about the workers. It's about this main army. It's about the push. And Namshar is stuck with Lingbane Corruptor. Does have +2. At least. Does have +2 as the Baneling Ramai is waddling in. The army's in position! No! We're mid commanding. Yeah, we do come across these Banelings, force to turn back around. Yeah, they trade with the Stalkers. Corruptors are coming in! Where's the Storm? Where are the Storms? We don't quite spend them, not on the Corruptors. Oh, the Prism is going to be sniped. That will delay warp-ins. Before Jumy doesn't want to stop. There we go, more Lingbane on the way. And that's what we've been saving our Storms for. We're saving them for the Lingbane. And how good are the Storms going to be? Corruptors, they get across the map. Going for the base. Oh, big Storms! Oh my god. Big Storms on Lingbane. We still have 2 Storms left. 2 Storms are remaining. And we have 0 Banelings, by the way. We have 21 in production, but we're getting on top of them. We're getting on top of the Banelings. Show us the Storm. Oh god, it's so close. Storms mainly on the Lings. Oh, that last Storm was a bit of a waste, but we still have another 2 Storms left. Yeah, Banelings, they will take down 1 High Templar, but we have control of the ramp, control of the main base. And there's no pushing in. The Corruptors are coming back home, but there's nothing for them to do. There's 1 Tempest to kill. Decent Baneling connections. Decent connections, but we're running out of Lings. Again, for Jumy trading so well here on that ramp in the main base. GG gets called. There's no stopping for Jumy as he does take a 3-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. 92 drones. I mean, he had 92 drones, but he was mining from 3 bases. It's like, you know, unfortunately, he had the workers, but didn't have the mining. And as a result, for Jumy just snowballed out of control. The 92 workers did not even matter. And with that, for Jumy is 1 game away. 1 game away from winning this all. And I did not expect this best of 7 to be so quick. I'm cheering for Namshar right now. I'm hoping that we can bounce back. I need a message for Jumy. I had to message him. I called him an animal. He went for a carrier, sorry, a Tempest Rush. Shaking my head. But yeah, rushing Tempest on Amphion. Again, it does look really defendable on 2 bases. If we wanted to rush into Tempest, it does make sense on Amphion just because of how defendable the natural base is. Does make sense. Yeah, if you're curious, I don't know if you can see the whispers with myself and for Jumy. I was like, "You're an animal." It's like XD. Aye. And here we go. We're getting into our next game. It's going to be on Ghost River. Just wait until Terrans build 2 factories in their base, fly them over, and build tanks in your main. For that map, I can see a bit of a Gangnam Terran. Obviously, because you can float your command center once you build it, you can take that base a little bit faster. So I could definitely see Terran players expanding in that area much faster than normal. So that's definitely something that Terran players could experiment with. But I don't know if it's worth it just because how exposed that base. Oh, actually, I think it's safer than the other base. So we definitely could see that. But regardless, we're now getting into our next game. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our German Protoss player, the Green Protoss, representing Freiburg Esports. Lead this series 3-0. Unamas. One more is all he needs to become this edition's champion for the Jumy Showmatches. It is himself for Jumy. Hashtag rigged, papi. Hashtag rigged. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player representing Sidestorm Gaming from the land of Sweden. It is Namshar. Here we go. As we are loading into Ghost River now, this is another map that we did actually cast when we did feature when we casted Australia versus Miyamika. The biggest feature here, I know what it is. A lot of these maps have mineral walls. This one is a lot more closer. It's one screen. This is the rush distance. One screen here to get from one natural to the other. If you mine through these minerals. And of course you can just mine through your side and you don't have to mine through the other, but regardless, the rush distance by ground is disgustingly short. And when we casted Miyamika versus Australia, they just all in each other. It was just an all in. It was crazy. Yeah, welcome to Ghost River. If you avoid mining through those mineral patches, the rush distance by ground is a little bit longer. More importantly, you have a ramp and it's very narrow. What I will say about both of these ramps is that even if you mine through these minerals, both this ramp and this ramp are insanely narrow. So if you are able to get on top of this ramp before your opponent gets here, you can defend quite well. With the reduced surface area, you can hold on surprisingly well here. So these are defendable, but you need a scout. You need to realize that you have very little time to recognize what's coming your way. Meanwhile, 2-gate opener. It's going to be a 2-gate opener out of 4. Jumy is going into faster adepts. 2, then 4, then 6. Very fast adept production here from 4 Jumy because of the delayed nexus. Again, he delayed his nexus intentionally for the additional gateway, and adepts are moving out. And we're not stopping adept production. We are not stopping. We're moving out. Meanwhile, back at home, it was a hatch gas full standard opener here out of Namshar. Adepts, they're already here. They just left. They just left and they're already across the map. Ay, ay, ay. Lings are amassing as we speak. Namshar skips Ling speed. Uh-oh. Namshar, he has 200 gas, by the way, and he has not resourced Ling speed. I'm curious if that's intentional, and he may be waiting. He may be waiting to kill these adepts and then the Roach Warren. Adepts go down. Show us the Roach Warren. Show, like, what? There it is. Okay, not a Roach Warren, a lair. We were waiting for the adepts to go down. We're rushing into a fast lair. Very interesting. This could be a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. If it was Ling Queen Nidus all-in, we would have seen Ling speed by now. This should be for roaches? We should be seeing a Roach Warren soon, question mark. Like, the problem here is that this gives you access to Dropper Lords and to Nidus Worms, but without Ling speed, I don't see that being the case, right? So there it is. Yeah, there's the Roach Warren. I was waiting for it. So Roach Warren is on the way, and that suddenly means that we have, again, so much access to tech here. Insanely fast lair. It's an all-in. Namshar's going for an all-in. 4 Jumy is unaware of what's going on. But he's going for Glaives. He's going for a Twilight Council opener into Glaive Adepts here. Again, there's just so much happening so quickly. It's becoming a bit hard to keep up. But yeah, for Jumy, he's going to be committing with 4-gate Glaives across the map. I think I want to favor Namshar just because he's going to have fast roaches. True, but at the same time, he's going to be cutting workers early on. This is going to get very chaotic. This is going to become a very chaotic game here. Ay, ay, ay. So we'll see how this all comes together. Overseer is on the way. 4-minute Overseer timing because of the lair. Okay. Fast scouting here from Namshar. He's taking his third. He's droning, by the way. I'm a little bit surprised. But we are going to be droning up. Overseer Scout does confirm the Glaives. This is already like a red flag. Like this, like for Jumy should already be thinking, wait, Overseer? What's happening? Like lair timings are usually around 4:30 at earliest. So that's a big tell. For Jumy knows. Now he knows about the fast lair. Now he should know about the fast roaches. Adepts get across the map. We are going to be denying this third base. Trying to at least. Yeah, roaches are still amassing, which means we might force the cancel. It's going to be close. Base is getting low. And we're not going for it. Yeah, the base is going to be denied. Big pick up there. Base is denied. The wall is up and running. And we're going to commit. Oh, into the wall of roaches, though. Not sure if I'm fond of that. There we go. We're trying to shade past the roaches. Roach speed has kicked in. Namshar is getting ready for his own counter all in. Ooh, and we're going for the Bay. We don't have Immortals. We're rushing into the Bay instead. Adepts, once again, they do threaten the shade. We are backing off. It is greedy here for Jumy to try to wait for the Disruptor. Adepts are going down. For Jumy trying to buy some time here. Shading across. Oh, rallying probes across the map. Things are getting messy. We are buying time for the Bay to finish. Very impressive, but again, really risky here out of Jumy. As the Prism is slipping in. And Namshar's droning? Wait, what? Namshar is droning! Okay, so we're not going all in. We're not committing unless we stop droning from here. We do catch out some of these adepts. Big pickups. With denied access into the main base, there it is. Disruptors are on the way. Warp Prison speed as well. Namshar, he only made the one drone. Okay, he's committing. We're cutting workers here at 48. We're massing roaches. We are not saturating the third base, at least not yet. And I feel like we gotta go. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Jumy. As we shut down the Adepts, Disruptor has arrived, but again, it's only one Disruptor, no Immortals. The roaches are coming in, and I feel like we can just fight this head on. Decent splits. And there's just nothing in here that can fight roaches. Like there's no more else to say. The roaches, they're waddling in, and there's nothing to stop them. Adepts, they crumble. Disruptors, again, high risk, high reward. The third base is going to be going down. Now we start Immortal production. We could have started this much earlier. First Immortals on the way. Third base goes down. And from here, Namshar, he can drone. Yeah, he's chilling. we can just drone from here. We deny the third. Namshar is paying attention, making sure he avoids that Nova. At the same time, Adepts across the map. We do get a couple of drone kills, but they're on A move, which means, oh, they're being shut down. Yeah, Adepts, they shade into the main base with their queens in position. We got 4 or 5 drone kills. That's okay. Cybercore is under threat. And for Jumy, just contained here to 2 bases. You know, Namshar backs up. Going for a warp into the main. Bold move. The warp in does finish, by the way. Okay. For Jumy, again, bold move once again. Hoping that the queens were out of position. They were here at the third base. So there was no punish there for the warp in. Adepts, they do shade, or they do get dropped into natural. More drones going down. Here comes the main push. And this push has potential. But, it's all about the control. It's all about these Novas. How good will the connections be? As Namshar, he's just massing up more roaches. A massive Death Bullet army. The first Nova is lackluster. It does not connect. We have 1 Nova left. It's going to go off B connection. Does connect with the Ravagers. Not bad. Not a bad start there for Jumy. We're diving on top of the Stalkers. We focus on one of the Disruptors. And you can see here in a head-on fight, it's not working out well here at all for Jumy. We're shutting this down. The Vials, they connect. They do so much of that Prism, and again, there's almost nothing left. We're running out of Protoss. We're running out of anything. GG gets called, and Namshar, he fights back. He puts a point on the board. GG. GG, well played. Namshar, he does end up fighting back here on Ghost River, and we have a series. We have a back and forth. That's all I ever wanted. Namshar fighting back. Again, it was a very chaotic game, and I have to put a little bit of blame on Jumy there. I feel like it was very greedy to go into Disruptors as a follow-up, considering how short the rush distance is. Because the rush distance is so short, you really think you can get away with going into Disruptor against a Master Roach Army? Like, that was crazy, especially considering he saw the lair first. He knew how fast the lair was after seeing the Overseer timing, so for Jumy, again, throwing caution to the wind, gets caught with his pants down. GG. Namshar takes the game, and now we're getting into game number 5. Oh boy, the last new map here to be showcased. It's going to be post-youth. Oh boy. Crazy map. They're all crazy. I could be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe every map that we've featured so far has incorporated mineral walls in some way, right? Game 1 was not on Crimson Court. It was on Dynasty, and game 1 was the one with the pocket gold base. So right, the pocket base was the gold. Game 2 was Crimson Court, which also had the triple mineral wall, the triple mineral gold wall. Then we followed that by, God, I'm still learning the names. Followed that by Amphion, which also had mineral walls, and yeah, now we just had Ghost River, also with mineral walls, like with every single one so far. I mean, Dynasty was a pocket base, less a wall, but you know, you get what I'm saying. And here we go, we're loading into post-youth, and once again, oh, what is that? A wall of minerals. Let's go. Every single map. Oh my god, this is crazy. As we're loading in and spawning in the top right-hand corner of post-youth, we have our Swedish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Psystorm Gaming. He has just a free, it's not even a pocket. It's just a free natural. What the hell? With gold minerals. I mean, it's a hybrid base, and there's less mineral patches, but anyway, we have the Swedish Zerg Namshar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss, the green Protoss player representing Freiburg Esports, leading the series 3-1. Automas is all he needs to take it all. It is for Jumy. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. As we're going for we're going for a proxy hatch. We're going for the proxy hatch in the hybrid brace here of for Jumy. Let's go, Namshar. Throws down the hatchery. Looks like he isn't committing. There is no fast spawning pool. Yeah, double expand. So he's going for the hatch block into an expand back at home. This is only to delay the expansion of Jumy, as we should force a cancel. Up, and up. It's barely going to be there. We do barely force a cancel. Namshar forced out. He could go for the gas steal as he delays the expansion even further, being such a nuisance here for Jumy. Yeah. Likewise, I just realized, so I guess technically there are two entrances to the main. If we can mine through these minerals. Is this a singular? It is. Oh, but there's 20. Okay. It is a singular mineral patch, like breadth wall, but there are 20 minerals here, so it does take a couple of trips to mine through this. Interesting. So 20 instead of the 5 that we saw earlier. Drone is still alive. Again, rotating around. It is going to be a depth first, of course. And the drone is being forced out. Meanwhile, Namshar going for the third hatchery here. It is a hatch gas pulled into a third base. This third is looking quite awkward as well. There's so much happening. Okay, wait, hold on. My brain. Wait, hold on. Okay. So, I was gonna say there are 2 entry points here, but we do have another hybrid base, but there is a gap there in between those minerals. So yeah, okay, there we go. So we can enter this area from 2 different locations. I thought there was a full wall there. Can enter it from 2 areas. Again, we have another weird like gold base that you can take, but it's like half a gold. expand on the right hand side, but we do have some high ground here that can abuse this location as well. Adept does shade in. I feel like we're getting some damage done. This is 2 drones going down. This is not insignificant. Not bad here. 2 drones and the Adept does escape. Link speed just now starts. Adept might be able to get away as we do get the hell out of there. Meanwhile, towards the left-hand side, you do have the triangular third base, I guess. Decent choke points. Do have a ramp here leading in towards the left-hand side. Oh god, there's like 3 points of elevation. There's ramp into ramp here. Okay. Interesting. The layers. Layers are real. And we're going Void Ray first. My brain is still trying to comprehend. Okay, so we have a Zelnaga that we can't gain access to unless you knock down these rocks. You have to break through the rocks to get the Zelnaga. Interesting concept. I don't think we've seen that before. We have had Zelnagas that can be destroyed, if you remember, on altitude. But this is different. This is, you just can't gain access unless you break down the rocks. So interesting here. On post youth. But yeah, I just my brain is still trying to comprehend this. Like I still can't get over the main. The main is crazy. It's insane. Like we can throw spirits on this map. CC first, right? Like in TVZ or in a lot of matchups actually. Like it's gonna be so easy to just be greedy and expand and take your natural. Like that's wild. That's crazy, right? Like, it's just a free base. Like, it's even freer than a pocket base. Meanwhile, we're going into Roaches. Heading for our Roach Horn here. Behind this was a Void Ray first. It's going to be leading into Oracles, into Forge and Twilight Council for +1 and Blink, I imagine. Maybe even Charge. See what direction we do head in here for Jumy. As the game is going to be settling down, and we're going to be calming things down despite the chaotic start. The interesting thing here, though, the third base, it does feel really awkward to defend, right? It's like, especially when it comes to a Protoss, like thinking from a Protoss perspective, was we do get a couple of drones here across the map. 4 drones go down. Oh. Oracles, they head into the main base. One of them does take a lot of hits. 5 more kills, but a bit of an overextension. Oracle does fall. But yeah, I was just thinking here when it comes to walling up and how you'd have to wall off this area here, or even try to wall off this area instead, like this location, to actually like settle down here on 3 bases. I mean, the ramp is a lot more natural to wall off, but yeah, this area is so big, it's so wide. Like engaging onto the third base is going to be a lot easier. A lot more difficult to defend for a Terran player and a Protoss, like when it comes to SimCity. So I'm curious how that's going to work. They do dip in, they get 4 probe kills, not too bad. Namshot getting some damage done. Stay strapping set up here on the right hand side. And we're going double robo. I just realized it all just came together. We're going double robo, not blink, into charge instead. Charge the Archon alongside Storm. A death ball of an army here for Jumy. As Namshar is just trying to settle into his own game, taking his own 4th base. Again, it feels like the 3rd and 4th are so spread out, especially because we're ignoring this gold, right? Like, it's such an awkward base to take. It feels like that anyway. So, yeah, taking this 4th base is that much more exposed as well. Once again, multiple angles of attack, no high ground advantage, especially with this area. Rocks are being knocked down. Is Light now European or is he still Australian? I'm returning to Australia tomorrow. Fun fact. That's why there is no cast tomorrow, as I am going to be returning to Land of Oz, which means we're back to the camo. The cam is coming back. The cam is coming back, man. The trip is going to be long and grueling, as it always is. It's going to be like a 30-hour trip, but you know what? It's going to be fun. I missed my kangaroos, Patty. I missed them. as Jumy is going to be taking the gold base. Again, a little bit more secure, I guess, or a little bit closer to the rest of our bases. We're just building up towards Storm. +1 air attack is on the way, so we're going to be gaining access here to Sky Toss. Could be committing. Jumy playing in his own show match, so he wins his money back. I'm confused. He's gonna save his money, Papi. He's gonna save it. Basically, it's you're fighting for Jumy for his money. That's what's happening right now. He's just trying to hold on to it, Papi. He's just trying to hold on. How many rounds are they playing? Best of 7. Best of 7. So first of 4. Where Jumy is 1 game away. Big Scout comes in. We do get eyes on the Stargate, on the Fleet Beacon. We are now aware of the Sky Toss, and Namshar is heading in that direction with his own Spire. As the Spire is done, Greater Spire on the way is spotted by Jumy. So we've got a late game, where we're setting up towards the late game here for our players. Namshar joining up to 90 for Jumy on 75 workers with the gold base on top of that. Bear that in mind, so he has plenty of minerals to work with. Getting into his upgrades. But yeah, defending this gold is going to be so awkward here with this ramp and this area. Like we can attack from almost every angle. Void Ray gets caught out. Namshar, he's pushing in, collapsing on multiple fronts. Show us the storm. Oh, yeah, good storm here. Oh my, we stand in the storms. We take it. 11 probes go down, but Hydras are forced back. At the same time, Zealot counterattack does get on top of the would-be hatchery. Namshar taking his own gold. This map feels really small. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as we throw down the storms, like, we go from the gold straight to the bases here of Namshar. It feels like a very short rush distance by ground. Once we start because we're expanding towards our opponent. Here we go. We are pushing in. A couple more storms are available. Oh! Raising the army. And good stasis as well. Does save those Hydras from the storm at least. As for Jumy is being forced back. He can't quite break through. Now there are lurkers on the way. The ground army can't push in. Celeromai runs into a wall of queens and spines. And the carriers are amassing. But we need more time. We still need more time here to get into those carriers. So it's going to be warping in. Namshar abusing the high ground. Does get here on top of the... Oh my god, on top of the ramp. Within range of those mineral patches. At the same time, more lurkers pushing from the left-hand side, and for Jumy is being pulled apart. Namshar is all over him. He's maxed out. And for Jumy, he can't keep up. No detection, by the way. Oh, storm here in the middle line. 22 probes go down. Ah, that was a brutal storm. And at the same time, again, we have the high ground. We lay siege upon the gold base. Again, this is such an awkward base to take it to hold on to. I mean, they both are. They are both falling. Yeah, Immortals are being shut down. Carriers finally arrive, but it may be too little too late. The carriers, they will clean this up, but behind this, we have 23 more Hydras on the way. The damage has been done. For Jumy knocked down to 52 workers. Again, he's mining out of his main base, of his natural even. At the main, yeah, sure. We can refer to it as that. Yeah, I feel like expanding forward here is a little bit too risky, and we may have to just expand in a more horizontal or linear fashion instead. Horizontal? Yeah. I mean, based on this game, we'll see though. This is still the first time I've seen this. Nice storm here on the Hydras. Decent storm. How many carriers do we have? We do have 4 carriers. Oh, that's still not going to be enough. 4 carriers is okay, but Mass Hydra can deal with it. Unless we get some good storms. Storm grazes the Hydras. Bit of a better storm towards the end here, but yeah, we can just fight the interceptors. There just aren't enough carriers. Aren't enough interceptors. Big storms, though. Much better here from Jumy. Big storms on the army at the same time as Zealot run by. Collapses on the queen. Good defense here from Namshar. Again, we've seen some constant Zealot run-bys here, whether it's towards the north or the south, and again, 4 Jumy's barely dealt any economic damage. Has barely touched Namshar. And Namshar is looking overwhelmed. We only have a couple of storms left. I think 1, soon to be 2. Speaking of, that was our last storm. We need a little bit more time. And we're about to have 1 more storm. What a mass spot. There we go. We do have it. This is the final storm, but the Hydras, they can just go toe-to-toe with the interceptors. They engage with the army and the mineral line. Oof. And Namshar, he has access to corruptors, but he's not even making any. Doesn't even need them. Yeah, these are just good trades anyway. And for Jumy, he's running out of minerals. He's burning through his bank here with these interceptors. Oh. Yeah, we take down another High Templar. Nice storm on the Hydras. But the Prism does get sniped. And we have a series. I was a little bit concerned it was going to be a bit of a blowout. I was concerned that 4 Jumy was going to get the 4-0, but Namshar took a game and now he's poised to take another. Outside of, like, running into massive storms, right? Like, there is a world, there is a chance where 4 Jumy can take a fight and win a decisive battle and go for a big base trade or just a big counterattack, but it's not going to be easy. Good feedbacks. But the Yoinks, they came in anyway. We do snipe 2 of those carriers, and again, the Mass Hydra. You don't see it too often. It often doesn't work against Skytoss, but in this game state, it's working wonders. And who needs corruptors? Just make Hydra pop. Good storm though. Good storm towards the left. Overseers are targeted down. But the army's being zoned away. We could even just, yeah, we can go straight for the bases. We can just go straight for the mineral lines instead. Probes going to be going down. Again, this natural is just, or this area is just so wide open. We can just slip in. Speaking of, as the Protoss army is distracted, we dive on top of the 4th. And we will focus it down. There's no saving it. There is no saving it here. As we see the Hydras getting across the map, they focus on the Cyber Core. Oh! Get a kill. And 4 Jumy at this point is all in. The Yoinks are coming in. We get 1, we get 2. We're going to get almost all 3 of those carriers. Storm zones away the army. We do lose 15 drones. Not bad. Not a bad pick up here from 4 Jumy. Yoinking whatever we can. Even a couple of Archons. Good storms here from the Protoss though. Forcing back the army. Lurker's still not done. Some okay storms towards the end. And instead, we're just making our way straight into the main base. Yoink it, Immortal. Big storms here on the Hydras. We do accidentally stack a couple of storms. There's only 2 carriers left. Only 2 remaining. Good storm here on the ramp. Hydras are trickling on out. And again, 4 Jumy is running out of army. Workers are being targeted down. We're down to 2. Oh no, High Templar. We're down to 2 lurkers. We're forced to recall back home. Oh, bleeding out another carrier. Again, it wasn't a bad trade there from Jumy, but Namshar, he's still able to sustain himself. He's still able to build up a pretty massive army. His drone count is quite low, and Namshar doesn't have a bank. For Jumy, he can still take this. If we get some good storms. Yeah, that's a lot of High Templar. We take down the final carrier. Getting to Immortals Lurkers, they have siege, they have burrowed. Another decent storm. Ooh. Okay, we had one storm left. For Jumy's army, it's so bad, it's so bruised. For Jumy, he was down like 50 army supply, by the way. He was down 50, 60 army supply, but he's fighting his way back in. Big spine shots going up. Good storms and no shot for Jumy. He takes a fight. He takes the fight, and Namshar has not been droning, by the way. He's still on 47 workers. He's still long distance mining. He has just abandoned his economy. It's in shambles. There we go, canceling a base. He has to reroute his workers. There we go. You can see him now focusing. Rerouting his drones. Trying to get some efficient mining going on. And Namshar, he realizes, like, hold on. Something's wrong. Am I dying? Lappy. Lappy. He's doing it. He's crazy. Poor Jumy, he was at death's door. He was down and out. I was already counting him down and out. But alas, we had some efficient fights. We had some good storms. That's a kill, not a cancel on a hatchery, by the way. Good yoinks here from Namshar. Gets to Immortals. And we have a game for Jumy. He's on 65 probes. If he gets his base up and running, he can build back up. And it's getting up and running. Next is on the way. Namshar, he's stuck on what? What does he have here? He's got half a mining base on the right. He's got a couple of patches here. He's got a couple of patches here at the natural or at the third. Namshar, he's broke. Do you get some yoinks in? Lurkers, they have burrowed in time. Big storms here on the army. And do we break through the High Templar? They barely survive. Again, these High Templar, they're carrying for Jumy on their backs. The carry is real. The storms, papi. You can see here bleeding out 12 Zealots, rotating every High Templar. All our high-tech units. The base gets up. For Jumy, he has a fresh mining base, which is more than I can say for Namshar. Trying to expand on the right-hand side. Again, for Jumy showing us, mate, you can be down 50 army supply. Doesn't, mate, just have some storm. Just have 7 High Templar. Just have mass storm, papi. It's all good. Against a Hydra-based composition. To be fair, like, it was ideal for him. Minimal lurkers, mainly Hydras. Storm takes down an Overseer. Bit of overkill, not gonna lie. But I guess we have plenty of storms available. More High Templar coming in. Ooh. Okay, we have to respect these lurkers. We're being a little bit frivolous here with our storms. We have to be careful. Oh, good feedback. Oh, once again, good feedback as well. We get one yoink. Okay, only one abduction. Zealot on the right hand side. Once again, the base is going to be going down. We cannot mine. We cannot expand. Not here, at least. And Namshar's base is denied. Lurker Zealot exposed. And we're collapsing on top of this. Forcing on Burrow. 4 lurkers left. And there it is. GG. 4 lurkers left. And Namshar, he runs out of money, runs out of steam. And for Jumy, we'll take this series 4-1. GG. How? Oh my god. I want to see the army graph. I want to see the graph. Give me the graph, Spoppy. Give. Oh my god. Look at this. Okay, towards the end here, towards the end, you can see Namshar is red, for Jumy is green. You can see like 3/4 of the way through it, around the 17 to 18 minute mark, Namshar, he has a massive spike here in supply, and for Jumy, he's, again, that's when he was struggling, that's when he was down 40-50 army supply, and he bounced back. He had some massive storms, took a big fight, And for Jumy, he clawed his way back in. Oh my god. He's an animal. Show me the resource collection. You can see here when Nameshar lost his bases. Nameshar again, he's red. This is resource collection. This is when he had, remember, he went up to 90 workers. He had 90 drones mining at one point. And then he lost 2 bases. He lost, what, 30 drones? And he never replenished them. He never replaced those drones. He never replaced those bases. You can see the economy plummet for Nameshar. And he was broke. Ran out of money. Ran out of steam. GG. Crazy. Crazy. GG. Well played. Well played. Congratulations here to Jumy because he is able to save his money. He holds on to his money, Pop. Yes, he's going to be taking the series, taking the Jumy Show match number 2. Congratulations. A shout out to Nameshar for making a series out of this and for almost bouncing back. You know, was able to take a game, and personally, I feel like he should have taken this game as well. Like, it was wild that it was wild that Jumy was able to bounce back in such a fashion. So very impressive, showing us that, hey, you know, hang in there, right? Even if things look bleak, even if things look dire, as long as you got a couple of storms, you're good. You're good. Congratulations, very impressive. My condolences to Nameshar, and with that, for Jumy does walk away with the bulk of the prize money. It is 50 USD for first place, 10 USD for second, and again, for Jumy, he holds on to his money, puppy. He holds on. Let's go. GG. GG. And with that, that is going to be the end of our show match. The end of our show match. Again, a bit of a shorter broadcast here. Only a singular best of 7. GG, well played. Just messaging Jumy. Okay, congratulating him, Bobby. Congratulating him. But GG, well played. And yeah, you know, we might see some more of these in the future. Jumy, I don't think he has a schedule for these show matches, but you know, sporadically from time to time he does host them. And yeah, I do look forward to what comes in the future. Apparently the first one was in 2021. Okay, these are very sporadic. Like once a year, if that. Once every couple of years. Oh my god. Yeah, the first edition was in 2021. That's wild. That's crazy. That was so long ago. Jesus. It's been years. So yeah, maybe this becomes more regular, or maybe we just fade into obscurity again, at least with this show match series. Regardless, GG. Hope everyone enjoyed themselves. I do love that we were able to feature the new maps. As a reminder, this was also played on the new patch, but as I was saying before, the new patch doesn't really impact ZVP. ZVP isn't really impacted at all with the new patch. It mainly impacts the Terran matchups, like Terran versus Protoss, Terran versus Zerg. Protoss versus Protoss is impacted as well, PvP, but ZVP is going to be pretty untouched by the patch itself. But will be affected by the maps, and as we saw, the maps, they're crazy. They're actually insane. they all have some interesting quirks and interesting features. So yeah, exciting times are ahead, and I look forward to seeing more of these maps in the near future once they do go live. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. With that, we're done for the evening, and we'll be back in a couple of days. I mentioned before, but we usually cast on a daily basis here. Usually, we do cast on a daily basis, but that is not the case tomorrow. That is not the case tomorrow because tomorrow I'm traveling. Tomorrow I'm going to be on a plane and I'm returning to the land of Australia, so I won't be able to cast. Unfortunately, they do not allow me to cast on the plane. Otherwise, I would. You know I would. So, yeah, I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, coming back home, which means post-tomorrow, the next time you see me here on the CranKy Ducklings, I will have cams. I will have a webcam. You can see me speak and live react and all that good stuff. You can see my face. You can see me make this face. It's gonna be So yeah, that's gonna be happening in a couple of days once I do return, and hopefully without jet lag. We'll see. Regardless, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. I do appreciate it. And yeah, with that, we're gonna be heading off for the night. Is Jumy still streaming? Is he gonna ladder a little bit more? will you keep streaming? Otherwise we might raid him. We might raid him here, or we might find someone else to raid instead. Let's see, who else is streaming? Who else is streaming? Just double checking. Okay, so apparently Jumy is still gonna stream. So you know what? Let's give him some love. Give him some love. Give him some support. Let's give him a raid. So yeah, hope you'll enjoy the broadcast, and we'll see you guys in a couple of days with some more Stars War 11. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.